Hello there and welcome back. In this video I am going to introduce you with a smart selection feature. So with that feature we can easily arrange the elements but also modify the spacing between multiple layers, groups and components. Now to be able to use a smart selection, all layers must be an equal distance apart and overlap on either X or Y axis. We can use a smart selection within a group or without a group as well. So I'm using the same example from the previous video, right? So here, as you can see, I have one group and that group contains two rectangles, right? So when there is an equal space between multiple elements within a group, for example, or without a group, then those dots will show up on each and every element that we have selected, right? And for example, let me just change the color of this second one to be a darker gray. There we go. And now with that smart selection, we will be able to rearrange multiple elements that we have selected, right? So now I can just click this little circle and drag it above. So I will be able to place that second circle above that first one, right? But that doesn't mean that we're going to change their position in the layers section. So we are going to rearrange them without modifying their layers position, right? So we can just move them around like that. We can also create multiple elements as well. So just press Ctrl D and let's just place that below this second one. So the spacing between each and every element needs to be the same, right? As you can see now, we can modify each one of those. There we go. We can now move them around like that quite easily. So the important thing here to note is that if you set the smaller or greater space between one of those items, and then the spacing between all those items is not the same, in that case we will not be able to use this smart selection feature, right? So now we don't see those dots because the spacing between each and every element is not the same. So you don't need to fix that manually. What you can do, you can also just go right here in this top right corner in this design panel, and you can select this option tidy up, right? So we can select all those elements, and now let's choose this tidy up option. There we go. And now automatically we are going to receive the same spacing between each and every item, and then this smart selection will be enabled again. So what you also need to know here that you can change the height or the dimension of one of those rectangles inside, so it doesn't matter. The most important thing here is that those elements are aligned within the X or Y axis and the spacing between them is the same. So for example, now I can just try to decrease the height of one of those items, and now let's move this element closer. So just call this option tidy up. There we go. And now we will be able to use that same selection mode as before. There we go. So we can now rearrange them as much as we want. There we go. So everything works here perfectly fine. Now this also same applies with horizontal row. So in this case we have seen a column, but we can just rotate this like that. And then we will be able to rearrange those items horizontally as well. So that's how it works, right? It works with the X or Y axis on our canvas. So this was just a group, but we can of course ungroup this group by hitting Ctrl Shift and G. And now whenever we select those elements without the group, then we will be able to do the same thing as before. Okay, there we go. So that's how the smart selection feature actually works. And it can be quite useful, especially when you're building, for example, some kind of a list within your application, and you have placed a couple of different similar items within a list. So with a smart selection tool, you will be able to rearrange those items within a list and place one of those items on the top or wherever you want. So it's up to you. Also, an important thing here to note that you can use, of course, elements in a combination with groups or even frames within a selection feature, smart selection feature. So for example, I'm going to now copy those two elements and I'm going to press Shift A to create a frame like that. So now I'm going to rearrange this frame to have the same spacing value like those items on the top. There we go. So 35 in this case. Let me just change the color here, for example, to some blue color. There you go. And now we can select those 3 rectangles in this frame, and we will be able to rearrange them the same thing as before, right? So now we are rearranging our frame and also those separate rectangles as well. And this same applies with a group, so we can of course create here, for example, a whole new group. So let's just group those 3 elements like that. Let's change maybe some of those colors like that. And now if we select all of them, then we will be able to move this group as a whole, this frame as a whole, or those 3 small rectangles as well. Okay? And there we go. So that's everything I wanted to share with you about the smart selection. For this video, that will be all.